Okay, good afternoon and assalamu alaikum, everybody. Actually, my system got stuck, so that's why I was a bit late. But now I think it's ready. So let's start and let's finish off the chapter as early as possible so that we can start the next chapter. All right. All right. So yes, in the last class, we were talking about crowdfunding, and I told you and explained that the important features of crowdfunding. One, that it is actually a collection of small amount from large number of people, and for that, various platforms can be used. One of the most common platform is uh, the social media or the websites which are available for that purpose. Um, and secondly, you can raise a certain amount which you require for your idea, so that you can start working on your idea. But the problem, and you can convert it into some practical form. But the thing is, if you're not able to collect that amount which you require for that idea and which you actually floated on that website, you cannot use that amount of money for some other idea, because you feel that, or you realize that maybe the amount is not up to that mark where you can put that idea into some practical form. So you go for another idea. This is not possible. Why? Because people actually gave you money for the idea you floated there. And so if the required amount is not collected, the amount needs to be given back to the people who actually funded you for that idea. All right, and it is somewhat secure as well, that because the website collects all the information from you, and you are the one who actually floated that idea. So that's why people, they have a lot of confidence in funding, because the website is involved in between. All right. So you can quickly generate a lot of finance through that source of finance, and it is especially true for those businesses which are actually new. They are risky, and traditional sources of finances are not available, such as a bank loan, because bank loans are always look for the history of the business. Okay, so if there is no history and the idea is new, obviously the banks will hesitate, because there is more risk involved in that. And banks do not have experience of running various types of businesses. They just see the market, the current situation, and the history of the business. If it is not there, then obviously they do not lend money. But people who actually fund for that idea, they actually are the investors, and investors are the people who always take risks. And if they feel that this idea is going to work, so they start funding for that idea, right? So this is how you do it. Huh? So this is an advantage. But there's a disadvantage. Another advantage, sorry, is that if people do not give you a required amount of money, so that means that the idea is not going to work in the future, because lots of people, they did not fund you. So without spending a single penny, you can get the response from the people that whether this idea is going to work or not. Otherwise, in case of traditional methods of finance, you get the money and then you start funding your project, right? Or you put your idea into effect, into some practical forms, practical shape, right? And then you realize that it's not working. So then obviously you will lose a lot of money, right? And time as well. Here you can get the feedback quickly, so a lot of time is saved, and most importantly, a lot of money can be saved as well. So this is an important source in that way as well. Now let's discuss it, whatever is written
सर
there as well. Yeah, please.
सर वो स्क्रीन शेयर करने सर वो स्क्रीन शेयरिंग नहीं की हुई है आपने
All right, yes, because I was just telling you, I was giving you the information which we have already discussed. Now I'm going to
ओ सही
share
सर
it with you. This is what we discussed earlier in the last class. Now you can see in a minute. Yeah, now you can see the crowdfunding, right? Now see, it is the collection of small amount of finance from a large number of people. Entrepreneur uses a platform such as a website to promote the business. For example, GoFundMe, Kickstarter, I told you earlier, there are other sites as well. Now remember that another advantage is, which is written there, you can promote your business as well. Like you are asking for a certain amount of money, certain amount of capital, so that you can start your business or project, right? So it is promoting your business as well before, way before starting your business, because people are getting the information. Those people who have no intention to invest, still they will have an idea that yes, there is a business which is going to open or
सर
to
आवाज
start.
नहीं आ रही।
All right. Um, is that clear now? Is my voice loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
सर क्लियर आ रही है सर आपकी आवाज
All right. I think maybe there's a problem with some of the students' internet actually. Yeah. So my internet is working fine. All right. I'm actually recording my lessons as well, but right now, Hussein, I'm not actually getting time to upload it, but inshallah, I will upload the lessons there on my channel as well. So I'm just thinking over it, because it takes some time to upload the videos as well. So I'm actually
सही है सर
rec- recording each of my lessons. So whatever lesson you require, I can send it to you as well. All right. So I'm telling you, way before you start your business, you can be able to promote your business. People will get to know about that. Yes, there is a new business, a new product which is going to be launched, a new business which is going to start very soon. So you may get customers, or you may be able to attract customers way before you start your business. So as soon as you start your business, people start coming to buy the same product because they think that this is the right product for them. So this is another advantage of using crowdfunding, that you can promote your business in that way. So it's not only the source of collecting funds for the idea or for the project, it promotes the business as well. All right, now see, useful and cheaper source of finance for new businesses, because you just have to get yourself registered, okay, on that website, and then you can start getting funds from the people. So this is actually a very cheaper source of finance, and obviously you may require maybe certain amount of money to get yourself registered, but that won't be uh, a significant amount. Then banks hesitate to lend money to them owing to the absence of past track record. I told you earlier, there's no past track record, so that's why this source is very handy for new businesses. Then response from the people helps the entrepreneur to determine the success of the business as well. Yes, I told you earlier, because response of the people means, if the people are not funding for that idea, it means that response is poor. And that also shows that maybe this idea is not going to work. I explained you that, right? So without spending a single penny, the person who actually floated that idea can um, shift to another idea. Okay, all right. So a lot of money can be saved in that way. Entrepreneurs' own money is not at risk, and finance can be raised fairly quickly. Yes. So it means that if, for example, your idea doesn't work, obviously people will lose their money, not you, because it's not your money. So again, this is an advantage. Okay. And you can actually collect a large amount fairly quickly because it is coming from a large number of people. That's why we call it crowdfunding. All right. Then finance can be raised fairly quickly. Okay. This is, I think, all this is the same. I just repeated that. Also work as a marketing tool. I told you it can be used as a promotional tool as well. You can promote your business that way. Automatically, your business is promoted. But if the target amount is not collected, then amount has to be returned. You cannot use it for another idea, right? Because this is just like deceiving others. They have no idea whether you are going to use the money for that particular idea or for another. If you use it for another one, this you are not supposed to do it. All right. Then now, okay, another concept.
Sir,
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Please.
sir, for the return thing, that the money has to be returned. They are, but scams still happen where they put the money for one project, but they don't get anything in return. So,
Hamza Farooq, absolutely right. And
so
I
isn't
yeah,
it
please.
based on the customers that they have? So when a business sets up a Kickstarter, that they're taking a risk on investing in it, so they have to be careful on what they.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. And I'm telling you, yes, yes, frauds were committed using that source of finance as well. I'm telling you. So, yes, you know that the chances can be less, but you can't just straight away say that now there is no chance that I will not get my money. So, in every business opportunity, that risk is involved there. So, yes, it can happen, but the chances are not that much. Reason is because in between there is a website there which actually collects information from the businessman who actually is going to implement that idea, or using the money of the people to convert that idea into some practical form, right? So but yes, you are absolutely right. People still need to think about it, need to be very careful whether this is the right person to give the amount of money or not, right? You can ask information from the website as well about that person. Okay, so you can verify it on your own as well if you want to, right? But sometimes people, they do not bother about it. The reason is because sometimes the amount is so less that people feel, okay, it doesn't matter, because I told you, very small amount from a large number of people. But that scam might be big, but individually all people might be losing a very small amount, huh? So this is how it goes, huh? How it happens. All right. And Now, moving to microfinance, but again, if you are not clear about crowdfunding, you are most welcome to pose a question. I'm waiting. Anybody? So it means there is no question. All right, so we can
सर
move forward. Yeah, please.
सर
Yes, yes,
सर
Faria.
अगर लोग इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं आपके बिजनेस में तो इन रिटर्न उन्हें प्रॉफिट का शेयर मिलेगा?
दैट इज वाई ना, बिल्कुल इसीलिए तो इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं वो लोग जो इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं. व्हाट इज द पर्पस? इफ दे लाइक द आइडिया, व्हाट इज द पर्पस ऑफ इन्वेस्टिंग मनी? यही ना कि हमें रिटर्न मिलेगा ऑब्वियसली. तो आपको उनको रिटर्न उनका देना है, डिपेंडिंग डिपेंडिंग ऑन द अमाउंट दे विल इन्वेस्ट और फंड फॉर दैट प्रोजेक्ट.
और सर किसी किस्म की डिसीजन मेकिंग पावर होती है?
नहीं, डिसीजन मेकिंग पावर किसी किस्म की नहीं है. वो उस बंदे का आइडिया, वो कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट करता है, वो कैसे मैनेजर्स रखता है, दैट इज प्योरली हिज डिसीजन और हर डिसीजन. Got it, Faria?
यस सर.
All right. So now the last concept which is there in this chapter, microfinance. And you know what is the word micro means small, right? So microfinance is normally given to those people who are, you can say, very poor, and obviously they are not able to raise the finance to start their own business because banks hesitate to lend them money as well. So for that, to lift the standard of the poor people so that they can be self-employed when they start their own business. So this option is actually used. So even government can provide that source of finance to the people as well. Okay, or even there are other businesses as well, like NGOs. They can do it as well. Even social enterprise, you know, that we discussed in the very first chapter, they actually provide microfinance to the people as well. Like in Kashyap Foundation, I told you, working in Pakistan, actually it's they provide microfinance to poor females who are widows or who do not have any source of income to earn their livelihood. So they get microfinance from there as well. All right. So see, microfinance includes the provision of small loans to poor people. So it is for poor people. Okay, so that they can start a very small business. कोई रेडी लगा ली, कोई बहुत छोटी सी दुकान खोल ली, कोई खोखा खोल लिया, things like that. Or they can start sitting close, even at their own home. Okay, involving their family members as well. So it's say this is possible for them. Okay, now banks hesitate to lend to such people because of the following reasons I told you. One, unprofitable to lend such a small amount. Yes, because the amount is so small. Now imagine, for example, if a large, you have actually lent a small amount to different females, okay, or to poor people, right? Now maybe a multinational company asks for a certain loan, right, from the bank, and bank says, yes, we have the amount, but maybe a little portion is not available because we have lent money to such to the poor people as well. Now you know that you can earn huge amount of interest rate from that multinational business, right? But you cannot do it. Why? Because you have given it to the poor people or the people who have started their small businesses. So in that case, you feel that this is not profitable, and it is better to give a large amount to one single company rather than giving small amounts to individuals who will start their businesses at a very small scale, because in that way they need to um, uh, memorize or record the dates when they will actually give the money back. Okay, more administration cost will be involved there, and lot of more transactions will be there as well. So overall, if I talk about, so that becomes unprofitable. So they feel that maybe it is better to give the whole amount to one large customer rather than to many of them. So in that way, and it can save a lot of administration cost as well and time as well, and they can earn a higher interest rate as well in that way. Okay, because you know that when multinationals they get a loan, so they normally go for a long term loan, okay, and they use that amount of money for a long time period, and for that time period they keep on giving you the amount of interest. Okay, so in total the bank normally gets a large amount of bank loan. In case of small businesses, they might be able to return it quickly, and maybe not enough interest rate can be collected from them because of the same reason. And also the amount is small, that is why. Now, do not have any asset as a security. Again, that is the reason, because it becomes Very risky in that case. Huh? Small people, they because they are already poor, so they do not have anything to offer as a security. So if they are not able to pay or their business doesn't become successful, so banks have a major problem. They can go into financial crisis as well. Then may not be able to pay it back. Yes, this is also possible that now they are not earning enough so that they can pay it at the right time, or they may not be able to pay it back at all. So these are the reasons for which the banks do not hesitate, and poor people have to look for some other source of finance, such as microfinance. All right, so that is it. Now, any question regarding microfinance? You are most welcome. So there is no question, right? All right. So we are moving towards the next, and I will now, because we have covered sources of finance, I will share a question or two with you, right, as an home assignment. But okay, I won't actually share it today. I will actually take some more days, okay, because you have just given me your assignments and I checked them back, and now you are having it, okay. Remember, the purpose of giving you assignment is not that you will get marks for it and I will record it and I will send it to the management. It's about the learning process as well. The more you attempt the question, the more you will become an expert in answering questions, I'm telling you. Because you know that I actually give you variety of questions, okay. Sometimes they are very short, like in the last assignment, I actually gave you a 2 mark, 3 mark, or a 5 mark question. Sometimes they are longer questions as well, like 10 mark, 12 mark, or 11 mark, okay. And I actually use questions both from P1 and P2. Okay, this time I'm thinking to give you a long question. Let's see. Okay, I'll think over it and then I'll share it with you, and that will be based on the same chapter. That is the sources of finance, right? Business finance. So do revise the chapter, and if still you have any problem, you can discuss it with me through WhatsApp or maybe in the next class as well, right? So I will share the question with you based on that chapter as well. All right. Now moving onwards. Now the next chapter is about forecasting cash flows. Okay. Now you need to understand that as well. And remember that if session expires, so you need to come again, right? All right. So you need to rejoin. All right. Now, forecasting cash flows, you need to understand what is cash flow. So, anybody who can explain me what is a cash flow? Uh, Anyone? Any idea? What is a cash flow?
The money going inside and outside of the business.
All right. Very good, Bilal. Great. Cash flow means how much cash is coming into the business and how much cash is going out of the business. But do remember, it has nothing to do with revenue, income, or expense or cost. Why I'm saying it? Because let's say you borrow money from the bank, right, as a loan. So money is flowing into the business, right? So this is part of cash flow, but this is not your income. Remember, yes, income is one of the source, okay, which can be part of cash flow, but it is not always the income. So while discussing cash flow, we won't talk about profit, loss, income, or expense. Remember, we'll only talk about cash. Okay, and there's a difference between cash, profit, and loss. Okay, I'll discuss that as well later on. But right now, just focus on what is cash flow. Cash flow includes the total cash inflow and the total cash outflow. So if somebody asks that what is the cash flow of your business, so what do? You actually subtract outflow, cash outflow from your cash inflow, and you will come to know that how much ready cash is always available all the time in your business. Why it is important? Because I told you there are certain expenditures which you have to meet on regular basis or even on daily basis, and we call them revenue expenditures. Okay, I have explained that as well in the last class. So now let's move towards the next chapter, that is cash flow. Okay, and for that cash flow actually becomes very important, that whether there is more cash coming in or going out, right? So that means that if more cash is coming into the business compared to the cash which is going out, it means business will be having enough cash with them all the time, and they will be able to meet their revenue expenditures. Okay, because revenue expenditure might be a sudden expenditure as well. All of a sudden, machinery breaks down, and now you need to get it repaired, right? And for that, you need to address that problem immediately. Okay, and so obviously you need certain amount of cash with you right away so that you can use it. All right. So similarly, but if cash inflow is less than the cash outflow, the money which is going out of the business is greater than the money which is coming into the business, then it might be possible that the cash which is available with the business, it will run out. Now remember, when I say cash will run out, what does it mean? It does not mean that the business is suffering loss. I'll give you an example. For example, you are selling goods and you are selling goods on credit. You are not getting cash from the customers, okay? But you are actually making huge amount of sales, okay? And you are actually giving credit to your customers, let's say 3 months credit. That after 3 months, they will pay the amount to you for the goods they actually bought. Now, after a month, you've realized that maybe your expenditures have increased, or there is a sudden expenditure in case of a revenue expenditure, right? So now you have to address that. But right now, you do not have cash. It will come, huge amount of money will come, but it will come after 3 months. And you require cash right now. There's a problem now. So we'll say now business is running out of cash, or business runs out of cash at the moment, and business will not be able to meet its daily expenses. And I told you all daily expenses, they are part of revenue expenditure. So there will be a huge problem. Now, despite that, amount will come after 3 months, and business is showing profit in their accounts because profit is recorded as soon as it is earned. What does it mean when I say as soon as it is earned? It means as soon as you sell your goods, you will record it as sales, okay, credit sales, and obviously the profit will be recorded as well. But obviously, no cash is received, okay, right now. So you can say profit is there in the business. The business is earning profit, but right now the profit has not been received in the form of cash because the property of cash is only recorded when it is actually received by the business. But profit is recorded as soon as it is earned. And what does it mean? As soon as you write it in the books of accounts and you are able to sell your goods, you record the profit. Doesn't matter whether you have received it in the form of cash or not. That is why a profitable business can run out of cash as well. That it might be possible that the business may not have enough cash to meet its daily expenses, although the accounts are showing that business is profitable because the amount is yet to be received after 3 months or 4 months because you have made credit sales. This is possible. So that is why remember, you can't actually just link a financial crisis of the business or a business which is running out of cash with with the loss making business, because loss making is something else. Loss making means that now your expenses are greater than the amount you are earning or the revenue you are receiving, right? This is loss, okay? Whereas financial crisis or the issue we are talking about, this is something else. Expenses are there, your revenue will be greater than that, but your revenue is yet to be received in the form of cash. So that is why you are not able to pay your meet your expenses. So this is financial crisis, or another name given to it is, remember, cash flow problem or working capital problem. Okay, working capital is the same term. That means that the amount of money which is used to meet the daily expenses of the business, right? So that is working. So you can say the business is facing working capital problem or cash flow problem. Now, have a look. What is meant by cash flow? It is the total cash inflow less the total cash outflow of the business. If I say the cash flow of the business is positive, remember, if I say the cash flow of the business is positive, it means business is having more cash inflow than the cash outflow, right? So after subtracting cash outflow from cash inflow, still business have sufficient amount of cash. Okay, so it means that there is no issue at all. But when cash flow problem comes, then obviously cash outflow becomes greater than cash inflow. Now, what is cash inflow? It is the amount of money coming into the business. Okay, before that, okay, all right. I told you positive cash flow. So there is another term opposite to it which is used, negative cash flow. So Positive cash flow means cash inflow is greater than cash outflow and business has enough amount of cash to meet its daily expenses. Whereas when I talk about negative cash flow, that means business is facing cash flow problem and cash outflow is greater than cash inflow. Now, see what is cash inflow. It is the amount of money coming into the business and it can be in many forms. So let me ask few of you that in what way cash can come into the business. Bilal Jamil, can you give me an example? Yes, Bilal, go
Sales,
ahead.
sales.
Sales, okay, all right. But do remember, you need to mention cash sales. Do not only say sales because sales can be credit, and in credit sales there is no cash involved, so it will not be considered while recording cash inflow. So yes, cash sales. All right, very good. Okay, who else who can actually give me an example of cash inflow? Let me ask Zaim. Yes, Zaim. Another example. Mohammed Zaim. No response. Razeen Ishfaq. Yes, Razeen. Razeen Ishfaq.
The sale of an
Sale of a
asset.
asset. Okay, all very good. Very good. One is cash sale, like you are selling finished products. So you are getting cash inflow, but you can sell your assets as well if you think that they are needed and you want the cash immediately. So you can sell your idle assets as well. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Anything else? Any other example? Uh,
Loans.
Refund.
yeah, very
Sale of a
good. Yes.
share.
All right. Sale of shares. Fine. This is all about sales. Yes. So Bilal, you said yes. Bank loan. Very good. Yes, this is possible. Bank overdraft. Still, you will get cash inflow. That's right. Very good. All right. Moving on to what is cash outflow. The cash, what is it? It is amount of money going out of the business, and that can be in the form of expenses. You know that, right? Payment of raw material, payment of wages, interest on loan, rent of the building, utility bills. If you are paying cash, so you will record it in under cash outflow caption. But remember, you can't say purchase. Do you know why you can't say purchases? Zain, can you tell me why we can't use purchases in cash outflow? Zain Mehboob. Zain is not responding. Alina, can you tell me? Ali, Alina, you are also not responding. Huh? This is not the way. Aliza Yasin Malik. Aliza, why purchases will not be recorded in cash outflow?
So because we have to pay from our own cash.
Yeah, that's right. But the reason is because simple purchase can be on cash or on credit. For example, you buy goods but you do not pay cash. So because in this transaction no cash is involved, that's why it cannot become cash outflow. But if your purchases are on cash, then obviously because cash is involved now, so your purchases become or they will be part of cash outflow. So remember, cash purchases are part of cash outflow. Credit purchases will not be, because any transaction where cash is not involved, we do not consider it while calculating our cash flows. Do remember. All right, moving onwards. Now, importance of cash flow planning. Now, you need to understand planning. What is planning? Planning is all about the future. So it means that once you face cash flow problem, I told you what is cash flow problem, when your outflow is greater than cash inflow. Okay, once you face that problem, okay, so it is not easier to resolve it quickly. Okay, because imagine that, let's say uh, you all of a sudden you realize that your machinery is not working, right? And right now you do not have cash as well. So obviously you will take some time to arrange cash, right? But obviously for that it means production will not continue for that 1 day or 2 days. Okay, and during the time period you are looking for the finance. So you have to see that beforehand. Like if cash flow problem is coming in the coming months, you have to address it way before it comes so that it never arises, right? So for that you require planning. Like for example, right now we are in the month of December, and as a businessman, you see that in the month of March you are going to face a cash flow problem. Cash outflow will exceed cash inflow. Okay, so now you have to address it right now. You will start selling your assets, or you will request for a bank loan or overdraft from the bank right now, so that you will have cash before when that time comes, and there will be no cash flow problem, because once it arises, it will definitely affect the business negatively, because there can be a loss of production, or there can be unhappy customers when they won't get the goods at the right time because you fail to meet the expenses. आपने रॉ मटेरियल लिए ही नहीं, ले नहीं सके, कैश नहीं था, तो कस्टमर का तो ऑर्डर डिले हो गया ना. सो फॉर दैट व्हाट you plan, and planning here means you look into the future. So you predict what is going to happen, you forecast what is going to happen as far as our cash flow is concerned. So that is why it is extremely important. Now have a look. It shows the timings of cash inflow and outflow when you plan. The forecast tells, I told you, that in the month of February, there will be less cash inflow or more cash outflow, or you will get to know that, okay, you have made sales and the customers are going to pay you in the month of January or in the month of February or March. So you can see the timings of your cash uh, inflow and outflow as well. So you will be better able to manage your cash so that you can continue your production process or keep on satisfying your customers. It helps in managing cash. I told you. Now managing cash means कि आपने फोकस किया और नजर आया कि आगे कैश फ्लो प्रॉब्लम आ ही नहीं रहा. There is no cash flow problem in the coming 6 months. So now you will not store that cash. You will use it for some other purpose which is rather more beneficial for the business. कोई नई टेक्नोलॉजी ले ली है, कोई वर्कर्स और हायर करके प्रोडक्शन में इजाफा कर दिया है, कोई आपने मशीन थी वो रिपेयर करनी हुई पड़ी हुई थी, आपने साइड पे की हुई थी, so you can repair it now or you can replace it. So that cash can be used somewhere else. So it's not all about कि आप कैश कितना ज्यादा रखें. It's wrong. If you actually keep more cash reserves, this is again not in the benefit of the business, because you are wasting that amount of money. You are losing an opportunity. तो ये अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट आपकी यहाँ आ जाएगी. दैट मनी कुड हैव बीन यूज्ड समवेयर एल्स, जो आपने यहाँ पे लगा दिया पड़ा हुआ खाली कैश कि जी अभी कैश फ्लो प्रॉब्लम आएगी. तो फॉर दैट कैश फ्लो प्लानिंग बिकम्स एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट कि भाई आगे कैश फ्लो प्रॉब्लम नहीं आ रहा, so better to use that cash. What is the purpose of storing that amount of cash there? So now great significance for new businesses. Yes, because new businesses, they are not very clear what amount of expense will be there, because they are new to it and they do not have any history to look for. So for that, they go for cash flow planning, so that at least, and how do they plan it? They see whether the peak season is coming or off peak season is coming, what is the condition of the market, the situation of the customers, income level of the people. So according to that, they actually plan for the cash flow, and then it becomes very beneficial for new businesses because they can manage cash accordingly. For established businesses, even it is very important, but they actually know when cash actually starts coming in to the business and when it starts going out. They actually know the cycle when it comes in and when it goes out. So but for new businesses, it's quite difficult to estimate that. So they the cash flow planning becomes very handy for them. Then I told you profitable business may run out of cash. I told you. So there is a difference between cash and profit. That profit is being shown in the accounts, in the income statement, but there is no cash there with the business, because all the sales have been made on credit, and the business is yet to receive the cash from the customers after a month or so, right? So it is possible that a profitable business can run out of cash. Now I told you earlier, the property of cash is only recorded when it is actually received. Okay, it is recorded in the accounts of the business. Profit is recorded as soon as it is earned. Doesn't matter whether it is received in the form of cash or not, it is recorded in the accounts of the business. So a profitable business can run out of cash. All right, so we'll talk about now. Okay, cash flow forecast. But any question regarding the points I just explained? These are the advantages of cash flow planning. Any question? You are most welcome. I'm waiting for your feedback. So there is no question, it means. So you all are clear. Ramin, Imran, is it okay? Fine?
Yes,